Hey guys, this video is just recapping what we've done in class. So just having a look at the different types of muscle fibers. So first up are the two types. You've got fast twitch and slow twitch. Fast twitch is divided into two types. You've got type A and type B. So just looking at fast twitch muscle fibers, they're best suited to short duration and high intensity activities. So anything that is explosive, powerful, where you've got a lot of jumping or sprinting, those sorts of things, even throwing. And there's two types. So the reason for that being is that some of the fast twitch fibers can actually take on some of the slow twitch fiber characteristics if you train them with endurance training. So if you had a person that had a high proportion of fast twitch muscle fibers in their thighs, in their quads, and their hamstrings, and they did a lot of endurance training, so a lot of marathon running or long distance cycling, there's a good chance that some of the fast twitch muscle fibers in their legs will take on some of the characteristics of a slow twitch muscle fiber. So that's why you can actually get two types. They still retain some of their characteristics as a fast twitch muscle fiber, but they end up sort of sitting halfway in between. The type B of the fast twitch muscle fibers are purely anaerobic. That means they don't use any oxygen. They've got all of the fast twitch muscle fiber characteristics, and they're purely for those explosive actions. So slow twitch muscle fibers, they're best suited to endurance work and also postural requirements. So for you to sit in a chair all day long in class, or when you sit in a car driving, for example, you're expected to sit up for quite a long time. So your muscles in, say, your pelvic region, in your lower torso, in your back, they're the ones that are holding you upright, and also your glutes as well. So they are required to work for a considerable amount of time, several hours sometimes. So they actually have extreme endurance capabilities. The work that they're doing is not high intensity, and so they can last for a lot longer. Okay, so we'll just have a look at some characteristics, comparing the three different types. Just keep in mind that the fast twitch type A fibers are pretty much a halfway point between the other two. So you've got fast twitch type B, and they're the purely anaerobic ones. So they will have a white appearance. If you had a muscle biopsy and you looked at the muscle fibers under a microscope, you would actually see that those fibers are quite pale in comparison to the slow twitch fibers, which are red. The fast twitch fibers have low oxidative enzymes. So oxidative enzymes are the chemicals that process oxygen in preparation for producing ATP or energy. So a fast twitch fiber doesn't actually use oxygen to function, so it won't need oxidative enzymes really to work. Whereas a slow twitch muscle fiber, they're used during aerobic activities like running and cycling, so they need a lot of oxidative enzymes to process that oxygen. And that goes hand in hand with myoglobin. Myoglobin is the carrier of oxygen in the muscle. So hemoglobin is the carrier in the blood. Myoglobin is like the brother to that, and it's the muscle version because myo means muscle. And obviously, if you have a lot of oxygen needed in the slow twitch muscle fibers, you're also going to need a lot of carriers for it, which means a lot of myoglobin. The reverse to that, phosphocreatine stores. Phosphocreatine provides quick energy, explosive energy, and obviously if you've got the fast twitch fibers providing explosive movement, they're going to need energy really quickly, so they will have high phosphocreatine stores. The slow twitch muscle fibers can take a little bit longer to kick in. They don't need energy produced immediately straight away for an explosive movement, so they can get away with having lower phosphocreatine stores. The contraction speed is fairly obvious, as is the force capacity. So fast twitch obviously has a fast contraction speed, that's why they're called fast twitch fibers, and they have a high force capacity, so they can provide a lot more tension. whereas the reverse occurs with a slow twitch. They have a slow contraction speed and a very low force capacity. So say if you had a weightlifter where they do the clean and jerk, they obviously will not be using slow twitch muscle fibers to get that weight above their head. They'll be using the fast twitch fibers because one, they need to do it very, very quickly, and two, there's a high force capacity required. Fatigue resistance means how easily that muscle fiber can resist fatigue or avoid getting tired. So a fast twitch muscle fiber will get tired very, very quickly and easily, and it will lose its energy stores quite easily as well. And that's the sacrifice it has to make to provide that explosive movement. Whereas in turn, the slow twitch muscle fibers, they can't provide an explosive movement, but they can last for a lot longer. So it's sort of like low energy output for a long period of time. And so combined, the two types of muscle fibers can produce a different range of movements for your everyday activities. An example could be, say, a team sport where you may be playing basketball and several different shots where maybe you have to jump up into the air or shoot the ball requires an explosive movement. You'd be using fast twitch muscle fibers. But to run around on the court, or if you're jogging on the court for quite a while, you'd be using some of those slow twitch muscle fibers to get you through the game. You're not always explosively sprinting throughout basketball. A lot of the time you've sort of got a jog going on. So you'd be using the slow twitch rather than the fast twitch in your legs. But as soon as the ball gets down to the other end, you have to sprint for it. Obviously, then you would switch back to fast twitch fibers to perform that sort of movement. So you're switching back and forth between the different muscle fibers to perform different movements, basically. Okay, so some sporting examples. You'll notice that there's no team sports on there because team sports, like I just mentioned about basketball, will usually encompass both of the different muscle fiber types quite a lot. So it's very difficult to distinguish which particular type would be used for which team sport, whereas individual sports are a lot more specific. So if you're looking at fast twitch, examples are sprinting, any of the jumping events in athletics, so long jump, triple jump, high jump, any of the throwing events like shot put, discus, javelin and hammer throw, and also pole vault. So basically any track and field events, bar like the 800 meter run, they would be using the fast twitch muscle fibers. Slow twitch muscle fibers you won't find in field events. You'll find them more long distance events such as marathon, ocean swimming is a big one, competitive walking, and also cross country skiing. Alright, so just in summary, fast twitch fibers, they're used for the explosive, powerful and fast movements. The slow twitch fibers are used for slow endurance and gentle movements, and each muscle fiber has each muscle has a particular number of fiber types. So say if your quads and your hamstrings and your glutes had a high percentage of fast twitch muscle fibers, you'd be more suited to sprinting, whereas if they had a high percentage of slow twitch muscle fibers, you'd be more suited to endurance running. And so simply by biological makeup, you could be more suited to a sport than someone else is. And that's how elite athletes actually get to be the peak of their performance, because their actual body is suited to the event. It's not purely training that gets them to the top. So I hope you understand those concepts. Look out for the next video also, that's going to be on how muscles actually contract. Thanks for listening.